Meet Megan. After growing up outside of Philadelphia, she moved to the Reading area 4 years ago and has become an active member of our community. As a teen, Megan was a leader in Jewish youth groups and attended Jewish summer camps. She lives in Wyomissing with her husband Philip and two young children.
I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia at a Reform congregation. It was a large Jewish community, and I was very lucky to have many friends growing up who shared the same Jewish identity that I have. I would say that I have always had a very strong Jewish identity and a strong connection to Judaism. I think that's in part due to my family. So my mom grew up Catholic. She came from Montreal when she was in her 20s and married my father and decided that she wanted to convert to Judaism. She says that she always had a strong connection to the Jewish faith and felt that it was right for her and for her future family to choose Judaism as a way for her kids to connect to our community. And when I was 13, she decided to also get bat mitzvahed and just kind of confirm her faith. So she always led with a really great example for my sister and I. And her family, while they were not Jewish themselves, always made it a point to make us feel welcome over the holidays and celebrate our traditions as well as their own. I felt very fortunate having a blended family that we were all so welcoming and so accepting of our different faiths. I also grew up attending Camp Harlem. I made that choice when I was 12. I had lots of friends going to different summer camps. Some were Jewish summer camps, some were not. My mom kind of gave my sister and I a choice to make our own decision. And I found Camp Harlem and decided to give it a shot. And I really think that that firmed up how important Judaism was in my life and how it would affect my future. I still think that some of my closest friends were campers with me at Camp Harlem. I then continued in high school my connection with the camp and decided to try NIFTY-PAR, which is the National Organization for Jewish Youth in the Pennsylvania region. So at first it just seemed like a great way to see some of my camp friends. And then I realized it was a really great way to kind of firm up my Jewish identity. I felt a connection with these peers more than I did with some of my peers at school. It was kind of hard to understand it as a teenager, but as I look back, I kind of think that Judaism brought us together not only spiritually and religiously, but also culturally. And it was a great place for me as a youth to kind of express myself in a place where I felt comfortable and accepted. In my junior year of high school, I decided to run for NIFTY-PAR board. And I was secretary for 2 years. So I got a chance to be a leader in my Jewish community as a teenager. And then I continued throughout college to go back and volunteer as a staff member in both the camp and in NIFTY-PAR. And it just felt like a very safe place for me to be. And I think that that really speaks volumes for the Jewish community that I grew up in. And moving here to Berks County, it's always been a goal of mine to make this place a place for my kids like I had growing up. I started teaching Hebrew school this past year at Oheb Shalom, and my son will be starting this year. And I really hope that this really jumpstarts his Jewish identity and his connection to our faith going forward. And I really hope that my children have a chance to experience all the wonderful things like camp and NIFTY here in Berks County. So we moved here 4 years ago for my husband's job. And it was a little bit scary moving out of Philadelphia, but immediately I decided that the best place to start was to find a synagogue for our family. I connected with Lynn and she found me some peers that I have now made very close friendships with. And immediately I felt welcomed, I felt connected, and I felt like this was a place that I could continue to connect and just kind of strengthen my identity and my cultural connection to Judaism. In the future, my plans as my kids continue to age is to really get our family more involved in the social aspects some social action aspects of what our Jewish community has been offering. I would really like to get us to volunteer more, and I think that the Jewish community here has done a really great job at laying a foundation for those who really want to get involved and improve our community and make our mark. So I'm excited for what's to come. And I want to thank those of you who were super welcoming when we first moved here a few years ago. And it's been quite a journey, and I can't wait to see what's next.
The Jewish Federation of Reading hopes you enjoyed this story and getting to know a fellow Jew living in Berks County. Federation is the central organization for issues affecting all Jews in Berks County. It represents us all, working closely in cooperation with local synagogues and community partners. Your gift to Federation supports our Jewish community here in Berks County, in Israel, and around the world. You provide cultural programs through the JCC. You assist Berks County Jews in need through Jewish Family Service. You combat the growing problem of anti-Semitism. You fund Jewish education for the next generation. To continue these services, we ask you to participate in a very special community campaign. During 2020, generous community members will match dollar-for-dollar campaign increases from both new donors and longtime contributors. Every new or additional campaign dollar donated in 2020 becomes $2. If you're not yet a contributor, please consider starting. If you're already a contributor, please consider increasing your gift. Your campaign contribution to Federation keeps our story of Jewish life going here in Berks County.